All right, n8n is an amazing service. Many of you have been using it already. I have definitely leveraged it, but I've also started actually hosting it myself because that is an option. And I want to talk about the options you have. You can host it locally on your computer for free using npm, and it's going to take you just like a minute to install. Or you can use Docker, which actually is quite powerful because if you use Docker and know how to use it, you can do that for cloud-based solutions such as Render, Railway, DigitalOcean. I definitely recommend you watch this because this is how you can actually maybe even get a client and deploy n8n on their behalf. Okay, so here we are at the docs.n8n.io hosting installation npm, and I'm gonna just follow the commands as they are. And this is the first command. We're gonna copy it, open our terminal, and it's gonna just paste this. And it asks me should I proceed, and I'm gonna press enter. All right, amazing. It took about a minute and a half to actually do the job. It's still going through. Okay, and after 3 minutes of waiting, we finally have it. So I can either go here, or I can just press O to open in the browser. Let's test that out. I pressed O, and the new browser has opened, and here we are. We have to set up a new account that is separate from the account that you have online, because this is an account that is local to your computer and it's going to store the credentials locally. So I'm just going to insert ari@lanai.com and I press next. And here's an important notification. You get a free license key that gives you these advanced features such as looking at your workflow history and also debugging, as well as just searching for your executions, which actually you do want. Whenever you execute a workflow, you want to be able to look at the executions and see how things ran. And finally, having the ability to organize your workflows in folders. I like that, so I'll definitely opt in. Okay, so we're going to start from scratch with a workflow that I've made, and we have successfully installed n8n through npm locally. So here we are with the official n8n documentation for installing Docker. The thing that we're going to do first is install Docker Desktop. So when you click on that link, that will take you to getting the Docker installation going. And I have a Mac, so I'm going to click on this. And I'm going to choose a desktop port of the Mac with the Apple Silicon. So I downloaded the file and I'm installing it right now. It takes about 2 gigs on my computer. All right, so here we have Docker, and we're going to go to Docker Hub. And all we're going to do is search for n8n. And that should give us the image that we're going to download, which is right here, the most popular one. You go ahead, you can read it, but really what we're going to do is just download it, or rather pull. And this, what it does is it pulls it from the repository of other images that once you pull in, all you do is you run this image and it's already fully configured n8n instance on your computer, but in another compartment of your computer. And another really nice thing about it is the capabilities I mentioned here. Essentially, this is something that is enterprise ready. That's the most key aspect about it, meaning if you were to ever want to scale this particular image and have, let's say, many Docker instances, or rather Docker images running with n8n because you have such a big demand for your runtimes, then you could do it with this. You can even serve this as a setup for a customer of yours, right? You set them up and they have n8n hosted on a separate instance, and that will be the next tutorial. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and run now that we've pulled, and we're gonna call this container name n8n local. And our port will just be 5678. Okay, good. So it started running and it's initializing, and we should see it complete the installation any minute now. And it's ready, so let's go ahead and test it out. Okay, so here we are, and we need to now configure our credentials. So I'm gonna add my email, first name, last name, password, and then I'm gonna activate my account. So I'm gonna hit next, and this took me to the onboarding screen. So I completed this, and now I'm gonna get a free license key. Okay, so here's the license key. I'm just gonna click activate, and that's gonna take me to a page where it's gonna register that I've activated it. And now I have the ability of using n8n rather to its full potential. So let's go back and run a flow. So we're going to start from scratch, and we have successfully installed n8n through Docker locally. So Render is a service that allows you to build and deploy apps within minutes. I don't have an account, so I'm going to authenticate. You should get a verification email. And when you first arrive on your dashboard, you should see these options. And we're going to go for web services. And we're going to choose an existing image. We're going to go back to Docker, and we're going to get this URL down here. This is the URL to the image. Copy it, paste it, no credentials, connect. It recognized it, and we're going to name this n8n auspicious. And down here, since we're a hobby project, we're going to go for free. Of course, if there's some inactivity, they're going to shut it down. If you do have, let's say, several hundred of invocations in a month at the least, I would say you go with Starter. It can handle up to 1,000 or so by my experience. And we're going to deploy. And here it is. It should take about 50 seconds to a minute, not more. All right, and we're live. We're going to just go ahead and click. And here's a deployed instance of n8n on Render. We're going to go ahead and enter the credentials that I want to set up an account for. You do this every time whenever you set up a new n8n instance. My email, name, password. Yeah, let's use this strong password. Good. All right, just some simple onboarding. And something I do. Get started. All right. And yeah, I want a free license key. Why don't you go ahead and send it to me? Now you're ready to roll. You just click on Start from Scratch, and you're ready to go ahead and create your first workflow. Railway is an alternative service to also deploy services really quickly and then make it just as easy as clicking a button, really. And what we're going to do is we're going to deploy from a template, okay? And we're going to choose n8n, which is the top service that they provide. It's the most popular one, apparently. And to deploy it, we need to sign in. So I'm going to log in, and I'm going to continue with GitHub. And I already have an account, but if you don't, let me show you how you would do it. This is me on an incognito page. I'm at github.com, and all I do is click sign up, and then I would just enter my credentials, my email, password, username, and the country I'm in. Not in Portugal, but it'd be nice if I was. And once you do that, you're just going to authorize Railway to connect to your GitHub. It's just like any other OAuth activity, and we're ready to go. Now it's just going to go ahead, and I need to confirm a few things, and I won't be using Railway for these purposes, which I won't. And it seems like it's ready to deploy. While it was waiting for me to log in, it already had these things figured out. So it was basically working in the background, and there was an error, it says team not found. So maybe what we need to do is do it again from the beginning. And we're just going to go ahead and deploy now, and just deploy. And this time around, it seems to have worked great. So this is over here, the configuration. And here's deploying. There's a bit of a queue. It's going to go ahead and start with the containers of Postgres, then move on to Redis. All right. So oh, it's ready already. And we're going to go ahead and click on Primer Production. And that was it. It took me less than 30 seconds. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing I did earlier. And just type in my email, name, password, just some strong password. Let's use this. Next. And okay, software, business owner, myself. People, YouTube, started. Yeah, I want to receive the key and start from scratch. And we're ready to go with our first workflow. Railway was so easy. And DigitalOcean is another solution that we could use for hosting our n8n instance. And we're going to sign up with Google. In my case, you can choose GitHub or just sign up with email. And it's going to check for bots, confirms we're human, and some simple onboarding. And you're going to skip the pre-deployment options, and you're going to go straight to Marketplace, and that's going to open up a list of available images and other services that you can deploy. And we want to click on the n8n droplet, create with one click, because that will just pre-configure everything for us. And we're going to create an n8n droplet, and the region we're just going to choose it to be New York, and then we're going to move on to choosing the basic droplet type, and go to regular, and I'm gonna choose the $6 per month as the least we can charge for. And we're gonna connect using a password. I'm just gonna come up with a random password. And at this point, we are going to just create the droplet, and it should take a few minutes to come up. Okay, and once your droplet is ready, you should be able to just go ahead here and click on the image. Now, the thing about this particular droplet is that you would ideally just go here and visit the website, but you can't do that just yet. We need to actually attach this to an A record, a DNS record specifically, under one of my websites. We're going to do this for my website, theauspiciouscompany.com, and I'm going to go here, Squarespace, and I'm going to click Add Record. And the host will be n8n, such that the prefix of the website essentially is going to be n8n, and then followed by theauspiciouscompany.com. And we'll have a custom TTL of 300 seconds, such that it propagates quickly. And we're going to save this record. Now we're going to go back. And at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to open up this console, and it essentially opens up what we call a terminal. And this is just going to be looking like something that is foreign to you. Looks like maybe something that maybe hackers deal with, but it's not really the case. It's just like very basic command line interface. And you can see here why I chose the subdomain to be n8n, and its default n8n. I'm going to keep it as is. Then I'm going to pass my domain. Now, I'm doing this about 5 minutes after I configured the record because it takes some time to propagate. That's why we did that. And in case you're wondering whether your record has propagated, there's this tool called what'smydns.net, and you enter up here the exact website that you're trying to configure, or rather confirm whether it's propagated. And I entered n8n, theauspiciouscompany.com, and it gives me the record that I copied over from DigitalOcean, and we're propagated, so we're ready to go. Click enter here. The email address, this is used for the certificate, time zone, no time zone, and it's pulling the image. Great. So we should be ready in a minute or so. Great, so the installation is complete, and you can see over here it's telling me where to go. And I will go ahead and enter in another tab. And see. So, all right, I had to refresh. And yeah, we're ready to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and once again, just configure my information and some basic onboarding. And yes. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to get the license key, start from scratch. DigitalOcean was configured.